Okay, everybody. So, the Lord showed me everything that answered every question that I ever had while I was on my path. He answered it for me last night. And I'm going to discuss with you what actually I have been living through and the importance of understanding God's truth and your reality. The devil operates in deception. And the only way that the devil can succeed at anything is if you doubt God and you doubt yourself. And this is what they aim for. I've been showing you the attacks that have been happening with these Satanists that are attacking me. And I was just looking at what they were saying, the titles of their videos, and I refuse to watch anything because it's all psychological warfare. Everything they're saying is meant to just drag you down. So I refuse to listen to anything that they say. Here's what happened. Last night, about 10 o'clock last night, I started watching the video of Jeffrey Epstein's niece, her interview. I told you there were other people that are ready to speak out about what Jeffrey Epstein had done. And she talked about that she was a sex slave in her own family, and she was sold to the elites. And these are in all of the richest families all over the world. This is not anything new. This is not anything new. In fact, this stems from when the angels left their post and had sex with the women of the earth. It goes back that far. And I'm going to explain to you what the Lord showed me. Here's the importance of understanding the true reality and never ever doubting the Lord, not ever. This was what was credited to Job. No matter what the devil did to Job, he never doubted the Lord. Not ever. And some of the things that these people were saying to me. Now, here you have to know the history of all of this. When I first started following this guy, first started following him, he immediately had his goons hacked into my things. The thing that really is so bizarre, when I came back to the Bible, they were bombarding me, telling me that I didn't need to be with those people, the Christians. I didn't need to be with those people, and I didn't have to be alone if I didn't want to be alone. Well, they were shunning me from that cult. When I was in Hinduism, they literally tried to shut down all of my YouTube pages when I was teaching Sri Nisargadatta's work, which is Hinduism. They actually had to have shut down or locked me out of my own YouTube pages, at least 4 or 5 different YouTube pages. So then when I come back to the Bible, they're telling me, you don't have to be alone. You don't have to be with those people. The only thing that I could say to anybody out here and all of you morons following this demon, the devil is the father of lies. The devil is the father of lies. He told people out here that I was a rat. Never such a thing. Never such a thing. His general is the true rat. His general is the true rat. No one could ever call me a rat. Not ever. And I never spoke to the police. I spoke to his goons. But as long as I would have believed that I would have that I thought I spoke to the police, and this guy called me a rat. Even then, I still couldn't have been a rat because I wasn't involved in his criminal enterprises. I could have never been a rat. But he constantly called me a rat, putting rats up in the sky. It's more psychological warfare. So this guy has been looking to hurt me right from the beginning, and I never understood why. Literally to hurt me, and I never understood why. So no, I was never a rat. Then he went and he told people that I was married to him. Well, of course, that was a bald-faced lie also. Also, if this guy's lips are moving, he's lying. And so now it's been established that I'm not his wife. So what is he trying to hurt me for now? What is the latest lie that he's telling you people? What is the latest lie? One of you people left me a video saying that this demon was flying in from wherever he hides out, Indonesia, Trinidad and Tobago, Australia, Brazil, and he was coming to Florida to get me. He was coming to Florida to get me. And then you had the audacity to say that he was choosing a wife for me. He was choosing a wife for me. This is complete satanic humiliation garbage. We're going to talk about this. This is satanic humiliation garbage. Number one, sexual perversion is an abomination before my Lord. And I'm a celibate. And no one chooses anything for me. So this is more satanic humiliation. Here's the importance about understanding reality. I want you all to remember what you posted that I showed. Here, they are all going to jail. You're correct about that. You're correct about that. They're going to jail. They couldn't take your life, but God can. Remember that little post that you left me? Remember that little post that you left me? Well, so you told me that there was something going to happen between Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, the 29th. And then you're telling me that they couldn't. There's been already 12 attempts on my life, and you said they couldn't take your life, but God can. So what happens last night? Another attempt on my life. Another attempt on my life. And of course, you can see I'm still here, right? Can you see that? Can you see that I'm still here? Well, I have to admit, it's not pleasant having to go through something like that. It's not pleasant to have to go through something like that. But what it's actually doing, remember what I told you. What the devil means for harm, God will turn for good. So what actually happens? I get stronger in spiritual powers. I get stronger and closer to the Lord every time this demon attacks me. Now, you want to call him God? And I know you've heard me say it because you're all listening to my videos. God, the Most High God, that is the only God that there is. There's only one God, and even the demons acknowledge that. So you all are the idiots out here following some moron who's dragging you all to hell, who knows he's not a God, who knows there's only one God. So the Most High God is the one who gives life and takes life. So do you understand? This demon came that you call God. This demon came here to kill me. Here I am. Here I am. Who actually is the recipient of the satanic humiliation ritual? Is it me, or is it the person that you call God? This is the importance of understanding reality and not the demonic delusion. You people all feel like I'm your victim and that you're isolating me. Well, the reality is I'm nobody's victim, and I'm just living my life, and I do what I want. You're all monitoring my every move. You're listening to my phone calls. You're hacked into my computer. You're keeping files on everything I do. But guess what? Who's really watching who? Who's really watching who? That's the real question you have to think about. Who's really watching who? See, what I can tell you is I know, because I've seen it with my own eyes, that these houses that you guys are renting on this side of the building, you're using them for flop houses. There's not a person living in these houses like it's a home. You're using them for flop houses. There's multiple people there working, hacking, and stalking. And listen, there's people going in and out of both of these places now, and they were doing it in 1915, but they moved out. I actually saw a black girl. She carried a beige purse. There was some Spanish dude. And what do you think is the common denominator? There was also a bald guy with a pretty long beard, like down to here. What do you think is the common denominator? They're all carrying styrofoam to go boxes for their meals into these apartments. As they're working, they're going into their shifts. That's what they're doing. As a matter of fact, I saw a guy who was wearing a backpack, and he also was carrying this to-go styrofoam box, and he went into 1911. See, who's really watching who here? Who's really watching who? Now, how do you think you can even begin to humiliate someone who doesn't have an ego? How do you think you can even begin to do that? Because you can't. You absolutely can't. The problem that you people are facing because you're so ignorant is you've never understood that I am who I say I am. You've been so busy out here tearing down my name, starting smear campaigns on me, trying to destroy everything I've ever tried to do. You've been so busy trying to attack me. You've never listened to a word I said because you do this narcissistic projection. You think that I'm just like you, and I'm not. And then you want to know, who am I working with that I know all this information? Well, it's God. I've been telling you that the whole time. It's God, the real God, the real God, which is why your demon God over there can't kill me. which is why he cannot kill me. Do you all understand this? You all, for some reason, believe that I am a manipulator and a liar, just like all of you. And I'm a criminal and I'm a crook, just like all of you. Well, you couldn't be more wrong. You couldn't be more wrong. But I am a prophet of the Most High God. And the angel of the Lord camps around those who fear him. And this is why your demon, false god, can't kill me. What is he getting out of this? Ask yourself, what is he getting out of this? Because this has been going on for 10 years now. He's the one that looks like a fool. I am being raised up to the world. And he's the one that looks like a fool. What is he getting out of this? I heard very well what Jeffrey Epstein's niece talked about that she had lived through in her life. And as I said, it all coincide. The Jeffrey Epstein deal and the Diddy deal, they're not separate from each other. And this has been going on since the beginning of creation. This is nothing new. And it's within every fabric of our society. As a matter of fact, it's within every fabric of this planet. And this is what the Lord showed me last night. I knew early on that once I understood that that guy was a demon, I understood that I was led there by demons to that guy because of whatever sin I had in my life. And what the Holy Spirit showed me last night was there was, I don't know if it was satanic ritual abuse, satanic sexual abuse. I don't know if that's what it was in my family, but there was incest in my family that went back generations. Incest. This was why I was led to this guy, the sex guru. None of these things are coincidence. None of them are. This was also the reason I had to be taken away from my family. I had to be separated from them and set apart from them because they're still under that sin of that incest from the generations. It's not a curse. It's not a curse, but it's demonic familiar spirits following the family through the generations. So those of you that were led to false prophets, and they've come out with a sex scandal, there's a sex issue in your family history. And it could be satanic ritual abuse that you don't know anything about. There was also prostitution in my family. I was shown everything. Because by the world standards, I was a good person. And although I had lived in the sin of fornication, It was nothing by the world standards that was too horrible. Um, but in God's eyes, it was terrible. And this is one of the things, and I've told you this over and over and over again. When I came back to the Bible, it stood out to me like a flashing red light that God continuously talked about how much he hated sexual immorality and sexual perversion. More than any other sin, he talked about sexual immorality and sexual perversion, that he hated it. Well, now I fully understand why. See, what was happening when these demons came on this planet and they taught the humans all of this sexual perversion. It is what we're actually calling satanic ritual abuse today. It was actually what these demons taught to these humans. They would sacrifice humans, they would sacrifice children. This is what Yahweh was talking about to Ezekiel when he said the Jews were killing his children. They were sacrificing their children to Moloch. This is satanic ritual abuse. It has been going on since the beginning of creation. There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. So this is why the Lord had to pull me away from my family and pull me away from my children and grandchildren. I had to be set apart because there is absolute disgusting, filthy sin in the family history there. I had to be pulled away from them and cleansed, which is what has happened. Which is why I was granted the gift, and it is a gift, of celibacy. I have been totally cleansed of that filthy, abominable sin of fornication that the Lord despises. I have been cleansed of it, and he has blessed me with the gift of celibacy. How do these demons who are attacking me for 10 years now, and they're only doing it for money? They're only doing it for money because they don't know me from a hole in the wall, other than them stalking me and listening to my videos. But I've never done anything to these people. I've never done anything to these people. So what they're doing, they're only doing it for money. What a shame. What a shame. But sometimes people just make a decision. They make a decision. They're either going to follow the light or follow the darkness. And when you make a decision to follow the darkness, whatever the Lord throws at you, you got coming. So I just want to let you guys understand something. Your demon that you're calling God, he's not a God. He's not a God. He can't touch me because I am a prophet for the Most High God. He can't touch me. And all of you are accomplices to attempted murder because you all told me he was going to do this. You're all accomplices to it. And it's been shown all over the internet. And I want you to understand something. The local police and the FBI have been monitoring my page since all of this stuff started happening when I lived at the other place. They've never said anything to me. They've never ever said anything to me, but they are watching my page. I can see them. And the Lord has started moving in judgment. I don't know what you're all getting out of this. I don't know what you're getting out of this and why you chose me to do this to. But I'm going to tell you, there's no way on this earth that you can ever humiliate me. Do you understand me? Because I truly don't care about anything of this world. I truly don't. And I know you don't understand that. I know you don't understand that because you're all sleepers. And that demon that's professing to be an avatar, he's nothing but a sleeper. He's a demon possessed sleeper who has learned black magic. That's all he is. That's all he is. And you're all following him straight to hell. For what? $1? And you want to call yourselves spiritual? You're spiritual beings? Is that right? Is that right? Just to reiterate, there is only one true God. And even the devils acknowledge that. So your demon that you're following, who you're calling God, is doing what he does best, and that's lying and deceiving you. So let him take you to hell. It's your choice. It's your choice. But you're constant attacking me, and I just keep saying I don't bother anybody. I don't bother anybody. What are you doing this to me for? Yet not one of you will ever have a backbone enough to even tell me why you're doing it. At this point, I don't care anymore. At this point, I don't care anymore. Your time is coming. Your time is coming, and it will be here shortly. I'm going to leave this here. You all have a blessed day. Oh, wait, before I go, I want to read something to you. I pulled up an AI overview, understanding the phenomenon of satanic ritual abuse. Satanic ritual abuse became a significant focus of concern, particularly during the satanic panic of the 1980s and 90s. It's important to understand this phenomenon from different perspectives. Defining and understanding ritual abuse, ritualistic sexual abuse. This term describes sexual abuse linked to symbolic or group activities with religious, magical, or satanic overtones. Satanic ritual abuse. This specific type of ritual abuse alleges that a group or individuals associated with a widespread conspiracy are practicing physical, emotional, and spiritual abuse on unwilling victims in a ritualistic manner, connected with a commitment to Satanism. This is distinct from isolated cases of abuse within families or smaller groups. This is, in fact, what they're trying to do to me. If, in fact, I was not a prophet and an awakened being, these people would have destroyed me by now. Ritual abuse characteristics linked to symbols or fantasy potentially connected to a known entity repeatedly invoked to frighten and control children for sexual exploitation and financial gain. May involve cults, families, or individuals, can involve multiple perpetrators and victims, often feature severe sexual and physical abuse as well as torture. Characterized by secrecy and the use of mind control techniques, perpetrators may justify actions with religious or political ideology. The Satanic Panic, a moral and social phenomenon, period of hysteria. This period started around 1980 and peaking in the 80s and 90s, saw widespread claims of satanic cults engaged in child abduction, sexual abuse, human trafficking, human sacrifice, and other atrocities. Media and social impact, talk shows, news programs, and even the Missouri General Assembly contributed to the panic, leading to investigations of hundreds of allegations. Lack of evidence. Despite the intensity of the panic, the FBI and later the National Center of Child Abuse and Neglect found no evidence to substantiate claims of widespread ritual abuse or cult-based abuse conspiracies. False accusations and consequences. The panic resulted in wrongful convictions and imprisonment based on false accusations and unreliable testimonies, especially from children who were subject to aggressive and suggestive interviews. Impact on individuals and society. Individual trauma. Those who were falsely accused or subjected to manipulative therapeutic techniques experience significant psychological and emotional distress. Societal harm. The panic diverted resources from legitimate child abuse cases and fostered distrust towards social workers and law enforcement. Long-term effects. False accusations can lead to lasting psychological and physical health issues, as well as problems with trust and interpersonal relationships. Moving forward, understanding the past, studying the satanic panic provides valuable lessons about the dangers of moral panics and the importance of critical thinking and evidence-based investigation. Focusing on actual abuse, it's crucial to acknowledge that while large-scale satanic conspiracies are unfounded, child abuse remains a serious problem that needs to be addressed with appropriate and ethical interventions. It is important to remember that while it's essential to protect children from abuse, it's equally important to approach claims of abuse with careful consideration and evidence-based practices to avoid repeating the mistakes of the satanic panic. So another AI overview. This is what they've all been doing to me for the last 10 years. Emotional abuse involves words and actions intended to manipulate, control, or degrade another person, making them feel worthless or insecure. A common tactic is belittling. Well, they've been going around this internet for 10 years telling everyone that I was crazy. And I've caught them. They even left comments on my own videos. One of them said, I've been following this woman for years and she's psychotic. This is what they were doing to me for over 10 years now. A common tactic is belittling, which can involve insults, public humiliation, or dismissive comments about someone's feelings, accomplishments, or appearance. This can erode a person's self-esteem and a sense of self-worth. And this is what they're trying to do by telling me that I'm just as evil as they are and I'm just like them. They know good and well I'm nothing like them. I never have been. Even before I was an awakened being, I was never like these people. But they will constantly belittle me. They will constantly belittle me. And if I was not an awakened being, if I had not transcended the personhood, these people would have destroyed me. Specific examples of belittling words and behaviors include name calling, using hurtful or derogatory terms, public humiliation, making someone feel embarrassed or ashamed in front of others, dismissing accomplishments, minimizing or downplaying someone's achievements. And this is what this guy has tried to do to me constantly. He not tried, he actually did stop me from becoming a guru, because everything I was teaching was proving that he was a fraud. And even that female guru, it was proving that she was a fraud. So they both, she was attacking him for years. And then they gang attacked me together, her and him, to try to stop me from becoming a guru. because I was exposing who they were, not even trying to. I was just teaching Nisargadatta's work, and the truth of the work proved these people were frauds. And so they stopped me from becoming a guru. They tried to stop everything I've ever tried to do. And now they come back here 10 years later and telling me that I'm just like them. I'm evil just like them. It's because they're all sleepers, and this guy is a fraud. He's not an enlightened being. He's not an avatar. He's a demon-possessed loser who has learned black magic. And he's a part of the satanic rituals. That's what he does. Dismissing accomplishments, minimizing or downplaying someone's achievements, making fun of someone's appearance, constantly calling me fat, making fun of my nose, constantly insulting or criticizing someone's physical features, constant criticizing, focus on flaws and mistakes, using sarcasm or jokes to put someone down, making insults as humor, gaslighting, making someone doubt their own perceptions or reality, controlling behavior, restricting someone's actions, relationships, or resources. Well, they're hacked into everything. They have prevented me from doing anything that I wanted to do online. They have absolutely prevented me. Controlling behavior, and this liar demon is out here saying that I'm his wife. I don't know what kind of drugs this guy is on, but he needs to get a better whatever. He needs to do something. Not ever. Threats and intimidation, using fear to control someone. Well, they've made 13 attempts now on my life. They've attempted to kidnap me twice already. They move right next door to me on both sides, and now upstairs the witches. I would say that this is threats and intimidation. They don't understand. They can't intimidate me because actually they're the ones who are being watched. Consequences of belittling include low self-esteem and self-worth. Victims may start to believe the negative things they are told. Anxiety and depression, constant criticism and put-downs can lead to emotional distress. Difficulty forming healthy relationships. Belittling behaviors can make it hard to trust and connect with others. Loss of confidence and independence. Victims may become dependent on the abuser and lose their sense of self. This is what they all want. This is what happens when you're in cults. It's what happens. And I have to say, that's exactly what happened to me when I was first following this dude. I was extremely trauma bonded to this guy that I had to break free of it. And oh, I absolutely did. These people mean absolutely nothing to me. This is why what they say about me or to me means absolutely nothing. And I only see their ignorance. I only see their ignorance. And their judgment is coming swiftly. Swiftly. That was another one that one of their witches or warlocks put out here, that their judgment would come swiftly. You better believe it's coming swiftly. It's right at your doorstep. You're too busy trying to attack me. You can't even see what's going on around you. You're also ignorant. You're also very ignorant. But this is what has happened with all of these attacks that came out with Diddy. And what Jeffrey Epstein's niece said is Diddy was one that was not born into the satanic ritual abuse. He was one that joined as an adult. So he now has become expendable as all of this stuff has surfaced. The same, well, Jeffrey Epstein was born into it. And she said she knows he didn't commit suicide. And I told you all this too. He did not commit suicide. But she put another aspect on this that I never thought of. She said either they murdered him or they sent him to get a facelift, and they sent him away somewhere so that he could go live someplace in quiet incognito. I never thought about that, but that could also be what has happened to that guy. So the children, it's always the children. The child stars in Hollywood. The child stars in Hollywood, they have all been, and it is satanic ritual abuse. I want you to understand this. And the guy that keeps coming to mind to me, that all of you people laughed at and said he was crazy, and I told you he was telling the truth. He was suffering from PTSD, and he was telling the truth. And that was that boxer that came out and was talking about the groves, for what they showed him in the groves. He was telling the truth. It's all satanic ritual abuse, and it has been going on since the beginning of creation. It's just now that it's starting to be exposed. And why after it has been kept a secret for so many thousands of years, why now is it being exposed? Because God is in judgment mode. That's why. That's why God is in judgment mode. I want you to understand something. When these cops made the arrest in Orlando and Tampa and in Miami, these were seasoned police officers. And they said that the things that they were seeing on those videos, these child porn videos, it turned their stomach. It made them sick. Some of them were babies, 2 and 3 year old, 2 and 3 year olds, what they were doing to these children. And these seasoned police officers got sick to their stomachs, and it made them vow that they would not stop until they got every one of them. And the Inspector General of Florida has made this vow that he's not going to stop until he gets every one of them. And the Lord is moving. So I want you to understand, the Bible actually speaks about this. But you've got to go into the Old Testament, and you've got to hear what Yahweh is telling the prophets, especially in Ezekiel. I told you, Yahweh got so personal with Ezekiel. Ezekiel was the one that Yahweh truly shared his feelings with, and told him how disgusted he was with the Israelites and the filthy, vile things these people did behind doors, what they did in secret. This is what they were talking about. This is what Yahweh was talking about. It was satanic ritual abuse. And it was always with the children. And I never forgot that verse when I read it, because it touched my heart, and I went hysterical crying when I read Yahweh tell Ezekiel, they're killing my children. This was why the punishment on the Israelites was so horrific by Yahweh, that he would slaughter them because they would not turn from their ways. Because this is what they were all practicing. And this niece of Epstein's, she said, to the world, we profess that we're Jews, but behind closed doors, we're Satanists. It's exactly what the Israelites were doing. It's exactly what they were doing. Which is why, and now I fully understand why Yahweh was so hard on these people. I kept saying to myself, it appeared to me that the Lord had no regard for the life that he created. And I know he can take it and he can give it, but it appeared he had no regard for the life that he gave. And this was the reason why. He also had no regard for any of these Anunnaki or Moabites, any of these people, the Canaanites. He had no regard. He slaughtered them all. And their children and their animals. because they were all demonic. Yahweh absolutely despises this. He despises it. And I was shown everything last night. And this was, in fact, the reason why I had to be set apart even from my own family, so that I could be cleansed and purified. And that is exactly what's happened. And he has blessed me and allowed me to become a celibate, to show that I am set apart from the foulness of this family that I came from. But now you will start to understand everything you're hearing in the news. All of these child actors, they have all been SA'd. They have all been SA'd. This is what that boxer was so upset about, because that's what they showed him in those groves. It's all related. You all are so asleep. You think this your little 9 to 5 and this that this is all there is, and you have no clue what's actually happening out here. And it's all up in the church. It's all up in the church. And what are you people doing? You're idolizing these. They're demons. They're demons. You're idolizing them. And what are they doing to the children? They're actually shipping these children to the mega churches. They're actually shipping them and sharing them. This is what they're doing. And you want to stand and call these people men of God? You have no clue about anything that's happening out here. So I'm dumbfounded by what is happening to me. I have been taken up by the Lord spiritually, and I never knew anything like this was possible. I'm able to see just about everything. When I started following Hinduism, I was listening to the Vedic scriptures, and I was going through the dark night of the soul, and the Holy Spirit was healing my trauma. I never ever practiced any chants. This guy used to insult me and attack me because I refused to practice his demonic powers. I was healing my trauma, and that was what the Holy Spirit was leading me to do. I never went into Hinduism to have demonic powers or have demonic anything. And all this guy did was say God. And the reason why I went to Hinduism was because New Age, the witches in New Age, kept speaking about the devil, and I was petrified of the devil. Being raised Catholic as a kid, I was petrified of the devil. So little did I know I was going worse. I went into Hinduism because I never heard this guy speak about the devil. That was because he was the devil. And the only words he ever said was God. And of course, I believed, coming from a Christian background, that he was speaking about the one true God. I had no understanding of what the occult was. So no, I never went there for demonic powers. I never went there for anything except to find God, which is why God had such serious mercy on me, because he was there with me. He saw my heart. So why these people are doing this to me for 10 years now is beyond me. Is beyond me. But I want to make it very clear to everybody. I'm nobody's victim. I'm nobody's victim. I'm living my life. And you really should understand what the true reality actually is. Because, in fact, you're the one being watched. That's how quickly the predator can turn into prey. And I'm going to leave this here.